Right now, while you're watching this, part of your brain is calculating whether to keep watching or switch to something easier. TikTok, Instagram, literally anything else. That calculation happens thousands of times a day, and it's destroying your ability to do anything meaningful. But here's the wild part. The same neural mechanism making you avoid hard work can be flipped to make you crave it. Discipline can feel as addictive as scrolling. That's not motivation garbage, that's neuroscience. And once you understand how your brain actually works, you'll realize why willpower keeps failing you and what to do instead. Your brain runs on one simple question: what's the best return on my energy? Every action gets instantly evaluated. High effort, uncertain reward, your brain slams the brakes. Low effort, guaranteed dopamine, green light, baby. This isn't weakness. This is survival programming from when conserving energy meant staying alive. The problem, your ancient brain is now stuck in a modern world designed to exploit it. Every app, every algorithm, every bite of junk food has been engineered by teams of scientists to hijack the exact pathways that make you feel good with zero effort. Your brain isn't broken, it's being hacked. Let's talk about what's really happening when you can't start that project or drag yourself to the gym. There's a tiny cluster of neurons called the nucleus accumbens, your brain's motivation engine. It runs on dopamine. But dopamine doesn't work how you think. It's not the pleasure chemical, it's the wanting chemical. Dopamine spikes when you anticipate a reward, not when you get it. That's why scrolling feels so good. Every swipe might reveal something interesting, so your brain floods you with dopamine to keep searching. But here's where it gets dark. When you get too many easy dopamine hits, your brain adapts. It's called downregulation. Your dopamine receptors literally decrease, like your brain is turning down the volume on satisfaction. Now you need more stimulation to feel the same level of interest. A book that once captivated you? Boring. A workout that energized you? Impossible. You're not losing discipline, you're experiencing a tolerance effect, just like with any drug. This is why people who spend hours on social media feel the most unmotivated. Their brains expect constant, effortless rewards. Anything requiring focus feels like punishment by comparison. But here's the beautiful thing. What's been broken can be fixed. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you do. Every choice either strengthens pathways for discipline or reinforces pathways for distraction. The question isn't whether your brain will change, it's which direction you're pushing it. So what exactly is a dopamine detox, and why does it work? Despite the name, you're not detoxing from dopamine itself. You're removing the artificial, hyper-stimulating sources of it. Think of your dopamine system like a brightness slider that's been maxed out for so long that normal light looks like darkness. A dopamine detox turns down that dial so your brain can remember what normal feels like. When you remove overwhelming sources of easy pleasure, something remarkable happens. Your dopamine receptors begin to upregulate. They become more sensitive. Suddenly, activities that seemed boring start feeling engaging. The satisfaction of finishing a task, the energy after a workout, the calm after deep work. These natural rewards start registering again. You're not becoming someone new. You're returning to baseline. You're remembering what it feels like to be driven by internal satisfaction rather than external stimulation. Most people fail at this because they white-knuckle it through it. They rely on willpower alone. But willpower is finite, and it's no match for a dopamine-starved brain screaming for stimulation. Here's what actually happens. For the first few days, you'll feel restless, irritable, maybe anxious. This isn't weakness, this is withdrawal. Your brain adapted to a certain level of stimulation, and now you're yanking it away. The discomfort is actually proof it's working. Your brain is being forced to adjust. Most people quit right before the breakthrough because they think the discomfort means they're doing something wrong. But that restlessness is your brain reorganizing itself. Push through. Here's what you do practically. Identify your highest dopamine activities, not what you enjoy most, but what gives you the most stimulation for the least effort. For most people, their phone, social media, short-form videos, games. But it could also be junk food, online shopping, porn, whatever gives intense pleasure with minimal effort. That's your target. Now, the critical part. You don't have to eliminate these forever, just temporarily while your brain resets. Pick a time frame. 3 days minimum. 7 is better. 14 is transformative. During this period, you're creating artificial scarcity for easy dopamine, which forces your brain to find satisfaction in harder activities. But you can't just remove things, you have to replace them. Nature abhors a vacuum, so does your brain. When you take away easy dopamine, you need to deliberately engage in slower, more sustainable rewards. Read a physical book instead of scrolling, cook a meal instead of ordering, walk without headphones, exercise without music, journal by hand.
have real conversations. These feel boring at first because your dopamine system is still tuned to high intensity. But here's the magic. As you persist, your brain starts releasing dopamine in anticipation of these activities too. After a few days of reading, your brain learns that opening a book leads to the satisfaction of learning. After a week of workouts, your brain starts craving the endorphin rush. You're literally retraining your reward system. There's a crucial difference between pleasure and satisfaction. Pleasure is immediate and fleeting. It requires no effort. Satisfaction is delayed and lasting. It requires effort. Modern life bombards you with pleasure but leaves you empty of satisfaction. That's why you can spend an entire day entertained and still go to bed feeling unfulfilled. Your brain got pleasure but no satisfaction. A dopamine detox shifts your focus from seeking pleasure to building satisfaction. And here's what nobody tells you. Satisfaction produces more dopamine over time than pleasure does. When you accomplish something difficult, your brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. This is a runner's high, the flow state, deep contentment from discipline, and it's far more powerful than any notification. The neuroscience backs this. Delayed gratification activates your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, decision-making, self-control. The more you practice it, the stronger these pathways become. Meanwhile, instant gratification activates primitive brain parts that operate on impulse. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're literally strengthening advanced parts of your brain and weakening the primitive parts. You're upgrading your operating system. Over time, this changes your default. Discipline stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like your natural state. This is what people mean when they say discipline becomes a habit. It's not that it's easy, it's that your brain rewires to prefer it. Let me tell you what happens after a proper detox. Your attention span expands. Things that bored you in minutes will hold your focus for an hour. You'll feel clarity that's been missing. Ideas come easier. Decisions happen faster. You'll have more energy because you're not riding a roller coaster of dopamine spikes and crashes. Most surprisingly, you'll feel genuine excitement about things that used to feel like chores. That project you've been avoiding, you'll want to work on it. That gym session, you'll look forward to it. This isn't toxic positivity. This is your brain functioning the way it was designed. But here's the thing nobody wants to hear. This isn't a one-time fix. Your brain will always drift toward easy rewards. That's not a bug, that's a feature. The key is building systems that make discipline the path of least resistance. This is where environment design becomes crucial. If your phone is next to your bed, you'll check it first thing. If healthy food is visible, you'll eat it. If workout clothes are laid out, you'll exercise. You can't rely on willpower when your environment sabotages you. Design your life so dopamine-rich activities require effort and satisfaction-rich activities are effortless to start. Delete social media apps, use website blockers, put your phone in another room, make junk food inconvenient and healthy food convenient. Every barrier between you and distraction is a vote for who you're becoming. There's also a social component. The people around you constantly influence your dopamine baseline. If everyone's scrolling and binging, you'll be pulled that way. But if you surround yourself with people who value focus and discipline, their habits become contagious. This doesn't mean abandon your friends. It means be intentional about who you spend time with. Seek communities that reinforce behaviors you want. Find accountability partners on the same journey. Your brain is shaped not just by what you do, but who you're with. Now, let's address the elephant. Some of you are thinking, this sounds miserable. Why make life harder? That's the trap. You're thinking from a hijacked brain's perspective. From your current state, discipline does seem harder. But from the other side, from a recalibrated brain, discipline feels easier than distraction. Because distraction leaves you empty, anxious, and behind. Discipline leaves you accomplished, confident, and in control. Which is actually harder? Chasing dopamine hits that never satisfy, or building a life where effort itself becomes rewarding? The path of least resistance short-term is the path of most resistance long-term. This is about reclaiming agency over your mind. Right now, honestly, you're not in control. Your phone controls when you feel bored. Algorithms control what you think about. Apps control how you spend time. That's not freedom, that's hijacking. True freedom is having a brain that works for you,